I'm honored and excited to have our next conversation with Klaus Wandler, who is the VP of Strategic Procurement at APAG CoSyst. If you could, Klaus, just give us a little bit of your background, personal history, maybe a little bit of an overview for APAG.
Yeah, Richard. Firstly, many thanks for the invitation to be here on this stage from Supplyframe. It's a great honor to speak with you about APAG and their activities. APAG by themselves, we are a design house in India, Delhi, in Windsor, Canada, in Nuremberg, Germany. We do the developments with software, hardware engineers, cybersecurity, mechanical engineers, light lenses, light labs. So the most focus of our business is the automotive industry, 80% share of this. We do mostly in the ambient light systems, the developments and the models which we serve to the market, as well in the electronic control units.
Right.
This is our specific field where we are acting as a design house in different levels. As you said before, tier 1, we serve directly to the OEMs. We have 2 production sites, mainly in part of it's the Czech Republic, the eastern side of Czech Republic, and once in the North American side in Windsor, Canada, opposite to Detroit.
Yeah, great. I mean, what I love about it is you've got this advanced value-added engineering design services that then is tied to your physical manufacturing line, and you have a lot of flexibility around meeting unique customer requirements, right, as you go through.
Exactly.
How do you think that provides a unique position for APAG CoSyst with your customers or in the market in general? Because obviously we're at Electronica. You have a lot of companies that are in this kind of in-between space, let's say, of being, is EMS even the right label anymore, right? Because if they're in a specific industry, they're specialized, it could be generic electronics, SMT lines, but your business model seems more focused on innovation and co-innovation with customers.
A bit different.
Yeah.
Our business model is definitely a bit different. In this case, EMS has let me say from my point of view, more a negative touch in this industry.
Yeah.
So APAG is definitely not the stupid service provider of only manufacturing and production service.
Right.
We do a lot more.
Yeah.
And the advantages which we support to the customers will be that we can act as a design house. We can support the design partners on the OEM side. We can do the total line design to cost. We have a machinery group. We do some of our machineries which we need to have for our application lines and assembly lines by ourselves.
Right.
Very specific build up for the module for the customer. So this is at least a huge advantage. If you see that we are a 450 people employee company, it looks small with a huge footprint all over the world, in all regions, Asia, North America, and Europe. So we are able to fulfill 24 hours design work for our customers.
Incredible.
So we do fast decisions. It's a normal way of our life.
Right.
We have no constraints to do it much faster as the bigger ones. So this is definitely one of the success behind our company and our story, how we deal with the business.
So speed and agility and the ability to adapt to your customers' needs must be
flexibility. Perhaps will be as well one of the words which it's needed here.
Yeah.
Flexibility.
Yeah. Because when you think about your growth and what's critical in the near term, say over the next few years, when you think about your competitive advantage in the market, what are the key aspects of that? Because it's obviously speed, flexibility, it's innovation, it's this unique mix of engineering, resources plus manufacturing, SMT, line development, maybe co-location with customers as well. We were talking about at a higher level, what's your key competitive advantage in the market?
Yeah, definitely a mix of all of this, but I include not only the customers in this topic. We are the partner which brings as well the tier 3 suppliers into this loop, because it's so that we have a mix of different commodities which we use for our modules. It's not only electronic, it's not only the PCB, it's as well plastic parts, heat sink, and a lot more magnets, and so you need definitely to have partners on your side who can support in the same way how you want to deal with this business. So liability partners for our customers, for us in the middle. This is definitely ones which we have to build up more and more for the future, because this is something which we miss at the moment. So this tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, which is really needed to use it as partners, not as suppliers, as stupid suppliers. This is the key point, definitely.
Yeah, we were discussing this before the presentation, but if you look at the automotive industry in particular, it's evolved over time to be overly focused on cost management, just-in-time, just-in-sequence fulfillment, where over time the liability for risk has moved upstream to tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. And in the pandemic, we saw that tested, where key suppliers were asking for assistance. We had inventory liability, write-off risk and issues, and some suppliers negotiated that successfully with their key customers. Some did not. And we're now in a weird market where we have uncertainty in market demand, say the transition to EV from ICE platforms, et cetera, but there's huge potential as well. And, what's your view on what intelligence is needed? How do you, manage through this, because there's an incredible amount of risk that you're asked to take, that you, at some level, have to have limits around what you're going to commit to.
Okay, firstly, let me point out the COVID situation brings us as well in a poor stream. APAG lost in 1 week 70% of their turnover.
Oh my gosh.
From 1 week to the next, we missed 70% of our schedules from the customer side.
Wow.
So what will be the solution for such things? There is no solution.
Right.
The solution can be only the partnership, which I pointed out before. There is no software, no AI system running for this. This is trust, liability, and partnership. So 1 point. But out of these conflicts and critical situations during the COVID and after the COVID, this situation was totally changed.
Right.
The customer increased by 140%.
Okay,
The
here
schedules,
we go. Big boomerang,
but not for tomorrow, for today. This is as well the expectations from some of them, not realizing what happens in the supply chain, what they produced with the supply chain a couple of months before. So that's why we decide exactly to investigate what can be the possibility to bring millions of informations in a transparent form, in an effective form, which we can use for such scenarios, but not only for this, for the availability for materials as well, to turn in a totally other way of our business. And this is information. Tons of information we have to bring together.
Right.
And we have to see, I'm sitting here, the vice president for the procurement. But procurement is only one part who is dealing with this information.
Right.
So that's why we come together with Supplyframe, because the Supplyframe tool has this one silo concept for all the informations and data, which is really excellent and exactly what we need to have to bring all the departments together on the same level. Availability of materials, all the information, starter sheets, footprints, the status of the part, lifetime of the part, pricings, and stock levels. So that we have the right decisions in the very early beginning of our designs to choose the best materials for the design which should work for the next 7-10 years.
Now that's so well stated, and I love the fact that because of the company's history, your scale, really, going global, and having this kind of ability to break down those silos. So if we can bring the right intelligence, what we see a lot of companies today is, even if they can bring the right intelligence, they need to align decision making. And if the silos are too high and too wide, in engineering, in procurement, in supply management, and in customer commercial engagement,
Exactly.
then they lack alignment. But it sounds like your organization is really able to begin to connect and try to see the same intelligence, because it's not easy to get everyone aligned.
But exactly in this way,
Yeah,
we see the solution for APAC.
yeah,
Because this is not the way that middle-sized companies going forward.
Right.
Normally.
Normally, yeah.
Means we don't spend money, we invest money in such a tool which combined all of these data, which brings us on a level that all the departments can work on the same level.
Right.
This reduces the work force which we need to have to do decisions,
Right.
to deal with the informations, and always too late to inform the colleagues about the next news or the bad news or whatever.
Right.
So this is exactly what we are hunting for. And let me say, as well in my department, I hire a data analyst, additional to Supplyframe tool, a data analyst who brings this in a more transparent form to work in RFQs, for example, much more faster, much more precise as in the past.
Yeah.
So the history of data, the history of quotes, to be connected with the manufacturers, with distribution partners, with our panel distribution partners is the key for the success. Definitely. Yes, we strongly believe that.
So, there's a couple of things I'm hearing here. One is get the right intelligence in, outside in, and align your engineering teams, your commercial teams, your procurement, supply management teams together. But it's also about driving efficiency and speed and agility. That becomes a competitive advantage.
Exactly.
If you're competing for business or your customers need recommendations, you can provide the best recommendation with the right intelligence faster.
Exactly. This is the point where we are working on, especially with Supplyframe, to be faster, with less work force for these RFQs. We roughly send back the first quote, estimation or fixed quote in 5 days.
In 5 days.
In 5 days. It can be in a BOM of 100 parts or 150 parts.
Right.
We are able to fulfill in 5 days.
See, that's pretty efficient. I mean, you've been in the industry a very long time. You've seen sourcing cycle times take a lot longer.
Exactly.
Right? I mean, it can be 3, 4, 5 times that long. It can take a month, or it can take longer if you're in a large organization, let's say, or your suppliers are not as responsive. I mean, that speed is critical there as part of your strategy.
Yeah, this is needed, definitely. Minimum in the electronic side. So the design parts like PCBs or injection molded parts, cable harnesses, this is much easier if you have a supplier panel which you can trust on.
Right.
As well, international one is needed because of our international production footprint which we have at the moment. But this is the relationship to suppliers.
Yeah.
Brings back as well this success in form from speed and more, let me say, more closer to a last price level which is needed for the market.
Yeah. So, we look at, so you mentioned different types of data or intelligence. So part of that's understanding the real-time view of the market, lead times, suppliers, alternate suppliers, but it's also the internal systems. When's the last time we quoted them? What's our current cost? What's the customer cost requirements?
Exactly.
You've got the engineering design decisions, right? And those trade-offs, right? What's an alternate part or design elements that you could look at?
Exactly.
What other intelligence do you feel like is critical now and into the future that you'd love to expand? Because it sounds like you are a great open thinker about how do we get better faster, right? All the time.
It sounds so, perhaps, yeah. I don't know. I have the pressure, or we have the pressure from the market, or if you want to be successful as a middle-sized company, you have to do something. You have to do something otherwise as the others do.
Yeah.
So the next step, we are working still on the installation of the supply frame. It's 80% done.
Yeah.
But the next step or the recommendation as well to Supplyframe, from my point of view, it's the basics are too wide. So it means For me, it's not important to have some articles from the aerospace or information from the medical side if I look for automotive parts and for specific automotive RCQ parts, for example. So this is definitely something which can improve the supply frame as well, the work together with my team or all the other teams using supply frame. But at least we are on the right way, on the beginning. The beginning step, and we see that this spend of money is an investment. So we will have a return on investment. This is definitely strongly believed by us, or we know this. We have the calculations and connections to the distribution partners, to the manufacturers.
Right.
These APIs that I have my pricings, my special part portfolio in a few, not only for the procurement. This is definitely something which gives us more input.
So digital connection, near real-time information, reduce latency, be connected to your network, right, of your supply base. Correct. And given your global footprint, you also need to look at that information from very many different perspectives, right?
Exactly.
Country source of supply, looking at what the local partners are in those markets as well. When you think about leading digital transformation, and what I love about your story is you're identifying the things that you can invest in that drive scalability and a competitive advantage against maybe some of your competitors, or at least meeting your customers' needs in new ways. What do you think are the key things to remember to be successful?
Yeah, perhaps firstly, to see and have the clear standpoint that a software is never a solution for all of your problems.
Yeah,
definitely. The human work will be exist anymore as well in the future. This is a much more information which I want to spend with you.
Understood. Agreed.
On the other side, for us, we learn a lot, including such a tool into our tool set, that the data quality is extremely necessary.
Yeah.
You have to clearly point out that you have to have a clear strategy in the way how you deal with data. The cleanness of the data, as well how to deal with bombs and alternates and. So what is the decision from the release of alternates in the bomb and a lot more things. This is definitely something which we have started with in the very first beginning of the installation of Supplyframe, because we have not the focus on the data quality. The data quality comes not automatically from Supplyframe. It's needed in front. So to have such structures and a team who is working on this, and a cross team, not only in the procurement side or in the development side, there is as well a functionality of the quality department, which is as well interested of a lot of information coming out of Supplyframe or the reports which we can generate, not only internal as well for customers. So this is some of the key topics which we are focused on, and which is something which we guide us as well in the next months.
So build a great foundation, focus on data quality, but the second key point you said is involve cross-functionally all the key team members together, right? It's not just about just procurement here.
No.
Yeah, it's critical.
Cross-functional.
And then, what do you think about the future? As you continue to grow in a diversified market, you're still going to be maybe a tier 1, 2, 3, and an EMS or not, you're going to be specialized, right? What is the critical capabilities that you think are going to be important as you either expand into a new market or you expand your growth with a key customer? What does the market need in general, do you think, that you're able to deliver, with quality, speed, agility, more intelligence over time?
Yeah, I would say we are not focused on a specific market. It's typically wise so that we have 80% in the automotive industry.
Yeah.
But electronic is needed everywhere.
Yeah.
And it's everywhere. And we are specialists in lightnings, and you have to see everything is lightning. So you need lightning on the stage, on whatever, in a bus, in an airplane, in a building, a street, or whatever. So this is definitely something which is not limited. So our business is not limited, and we take it as a challenge.
Yeah.
We have the certifications as well in the software side, hardware side, especially for the safety, security, cyber security. We are dealing with automotive parts, so we are high leveled in the certifications.
Right.
So this brings us as well some benefits to deal with other markets. Why
Right.
not? Or market players. Why not?
Right.
Why not in textiles? Why not in sportswear? Why not
Okay.
somewhere?
So
No,
APAG
there is no
CoSyst will
limit.
take on the world. I love
there
this.
is no limit
There's
for
no
us.
limits.
Exactly.
The sky is limitless. Thank you so much for your time. I'm inspired by your vision, your leadership, the ability to move fast. I think what we're hearing here is, get started, define your digital transformation vision, leverage the intelligence and capabilities to drive efficiency and scale. And sometimes, I think this is really true, it's the medium-sized, more agile performers that will move faster and sometimes succeed where larger, more established players cannot because of this shift in focus.
This is exactly the point, which we see our advantages here.
Yeah, thank you so much. We wish the entire team from APAG CoSyst all the best. Thank you so much for your insights. Really
Thanks,
appreciate
Richard.
it.
Thanks.
Thank you, guys.